What is going on, Hybrid Shooters? It's Jason Vong, and a couple weeks ago we took the Sigma Art 35mm, 50mm, and 85mm, all f1.4 for the Sony E-mount to do an engagement shoot for a couple whose wedding we'll be filming in August. Now initially we were only going to do an engagement film for them, but decided to throw in a few portraits since they told us they haven't done a proper engagement shoot yet. And the timing couldn't have been any better since we had the lenses for that particular week from Lens Rental. Now all of the lenses that we've used, a majority of the ones that we delivered to the couple were shot on the Sigma Art 85. Now, it could be the fact that I enjoy shooting at the 85mm focal length, but the Sigma Art 85, great image quality, amazingly sharp, but damn is that lens heavy. Now, this isn't just a minimal size or length difference. The 35 and the 50 Sigma Art were just a little bit longer, a little bit heavier compared to the Zeiss counterparts. It's really not that bad if you saw those lenses in person and held it in your hands. But the 85, the Sigma Art 85, you could literally stack two Sony G Master 85s on top of each other, and that will be the size, the length of the Sigma Art 85. And for a lot of people, size is a deal breaker. And go ahead, let me know in the comments down below if size matters to you. Now, if this was the only lens an individual has to carry, it may not be that bad, but when you have to carry other prime lenses and other equipment, it may get troublesome. This sheer size of girthy piece of glass takes up a lot of space. Now, during that same week of the engagement shoot, I took these lenses to Anime Expo, a huge Japanese pop culture convention in Los Angeles. I was carrying 6 prime lenses, all 1.4, the Sigma Art and the Zeiss counterparts, 2 camera bodies, a gimbal, trigger, batteries, ND filters, you name it. All of them in my backpack, and by day 2, my neck was just screaming at me. Granted, that may have been an extreme case. You probably wouldn't need to carry all those gear anyway, but imagine this. If you have to shoot a wedding every weekend, you have that 85 slung around your neck, you have another camera setup, whew, good luck. Since portrait photography is not my bread and butter, I much prefer using the Sony 85 1.8. It's so easy to carry around. I can have it with me wherever I go and get some nice telephoto shots for my Instagram posts and for my YouTube videos. I also often use this to film weddings as well. Image quality wise and sharpness, I feel like this lens is very comparable to the G Master when you shoot both of those lenses at 1.8. If you're interested in seeing that comparison, the G Master 85 versus this 85 1.8 right here, click on this video to check it out. And if you're enjoying this content so far, don't forget to take a shot at that like button. Damn, that's kind of cheesy. Oh well. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about sharpness. When we did the test at Anime Expo, the Sigma Art 85 always came out a tad bit sharper over the G Master. Just look at the eye and the eyelashes, and this was using eye autofocus. When the Sigma Art 85 came out, DxOMark ranked it to be sharper than the G Master, so I guess this supports the claim. But the G Master photos still look fantastic. Next, let's talk about the autofocus performance. When I was shooting photos with the Sigma Art 85, it was great. I did not notice any sort of hiccups. But when we did the video autofocus comparison, things got a little more interesting. Surprisingly, at the beginning of the test, the Sigma Art grabbed focus much faster, which shocked us into running a few more tests. After the 5th or 6th try, the G Master started grabbing focus at the same time as the Sigma Art. Now the G Master did do a better job keeping a moving subject in focus, and the focusing is a lot smoother compared to the Sigma Art. Now the Sigma Art does have better manual focus control, so if you are a videographer who prefers manual focusing whenever you shoot videos, the Sigma Art might be the better choice. Now, before we get into the pricing of each lenses, if you are interested in picking any of them up, links to them are in the description box below, as well as all of the equipment that we use to shoot this video. Now, if you're watching from a mobile device, check the top comments instead. So the Sigma Art is $1,199 versus the Sony 85 G Master for $1,798, a whopping $600 difference between both of these lenses. And since I talked about it in this video, the Sony 85 1.8 is $598. For the same price for the 85 G Master, you can actually pick up a Sigma Art 85 1.4 and a Sony 85 1.8. You can use the Sigma for professional professional work, and you can use the 85 1.8 for fun, which I don't know if anyone would do that. So the 85 G Master is sort of the middle ground, you know, comparable size and comparable image quality at f1.4. And no, I didn't forget about the Zeiss Batis 85 1.8. That's the same cost as the Sigma Art 85 though. Besides the obvious size difference and the aperture difference, the Zeiss Batis does have optical steady shot built into the lens. So it's good if you have a camera body that doesn't have image stabilization built in, but most Sony cameras nowadays have stabilization built into the bodies, so it really doesn't matter anyways. So which lens is for who? People who want the best image quality, the sharpest of the sharpest lens, who don't mind the girth, the size, the weight, the length, then the Sigma Art 85 f1.4 is definitely worth it. Others who prefer the smaller size might want to consider the G Master, but go for the 1.8 if your back says otherwise. I've talked to a handful of photographers who've been in the business for 15 plus, 20 plus, 25 plus, 50 plus years, and they tell me while they enjoy the look of a 1.4 lens, the results that it produces, they wouldn't mind sacrificing a few stops of lights and using something smaller if it means living a little bit longer. Now, if you are a filmmaker, I would actually advise going for the Rokinon 85 1.4 cinema lens. It's a manual focus lens only, but I love that lens. Incredibly sharp, incredibly lightweight, really affordable, and I used it a hell of a lot back when I worked for this production company. But if you want an 85 with great autofocus, definitely consider this 85 1.8 right here. If you are a travel photographer or a travel filmmaker, then you definitely want this portable telephoto prime lens right here. If you are a casual photographer, you're just like, yeah, I just do this for fun. My full-time job is working for Elon Musk, or I am Elon Musk, and definitely get the 85 1.8. Trust me, for you, this lens is good enough. If you've taken any shots with any of these 85s, feel free to tag me on Instagram. My handle's @JasonBMedia. And if you haven't seen my comparison between the Sigma Art lenses versus the Zeiss lenses, go ahead and catch up right here. Last year, I did a comparison between the G Master 85 versus this Sony 85 right here. So if you're still on the fence on both of these lenses, perhaps this video right here will help you make that decision. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.